Okay, we're doing the 13.1 to 13.3 review sheet. Looking at number 1, it says evaluate the 3 trig functions. It gives you the triangle. Here's my angle right here. I need my third side, so I gotta do a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Do that to figure out what your third side is. And luckily, when you take the square root of that, it's a nice number, 17. So on that triangle, I'm going to label my opposite, my hypotenuse, and my adjacent. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse, 8 over 17. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. And tangent is opposite over adjacent, just like that. Number 2 says let the triangle be an acute right triangle. So draw yourself a triangle, like that. Put an angle in there, doesn't matter where it goes. It says my cosine is 1/2. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So that means my adjacent side is 1 and my hypotenuse is 2. To get my third side, I'm going to do a squared plus b squared equals c squared and solve for that. And when I do that, 1 plus b squared equals 4, so b squared equals 3. So I'm going to leave it as the square root of 3. So now when I go for my sine and my tangent, here's my angle, so that means this is opposite, hypotenuse, and adjacent. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so square root of 3 over 2. Tan is opposite over adjacent, so square root of 3 over 1. You don't even need the over 1 part, it's just there. Draw an angle and then give its reference angle. So 130 always starts here. 130 should be around there. Goes in this direction. My reference angle would be finishing it up here. How much more to get to 180? Well, that would be 50 degrees for that one. Negative 2 pi over 3. Positive 2 pi over 3 is on your unit circle right about here. So instead of going positive that much, I'm going to go negative that much. Down like that. My reference angle is to get a little bit more. If you need to, think about 2 pi over 3. 2 pi over 3 in degrees is 60. It's 120 degrees. 120. Since it's 120 degrees, how much more do I have to get to 180? That's 60 more degrees. But since they gave it to me in radians, I'm going to give it back to them in radians, which would be pi over 3. Flip that thing over. Find one positive and negative coterminal angle. So positive, all I do is add 360. And when I add 360, I get 226. When I subtract 360, I get negative 494. For this, I'm going to add 2 pi. Since it's over 9, I'm going to make a common denominator. So since it's over 9, my common denominator would be 18. So I'm going to add 18 plus that, which would be 30 pi over 9. And then I'm going to subtract negative 7 pi over 9. Convert between radians and degrees. There you got that formula. Radians over pi equals degrees over 180. That formula right there. So here, this is degrees, so that gives me there. So I'm looking for radians equals 160 over 180. To solve this, I'm going to cross multiply. 160 times pi equals x times 180. Divide by 180. And all I want to do here is simplify. Simplify that thing. So I'm going to cross off the zeros, and then I'm going to simplify. I'm going to divide by 2 here. Gives me 8 over 9. So 8 pi over 9. For converting radians to degrees, I'm going to take 5 pi over 9 over pi equals my degrees over 180. Degrees is what I'm looking for. This is nice because the pi's cancel out. So it's really just 5 over 9 equals degrees over 180. Just like that. Then when I cross multiply, 180 times 5, divide by 9, get 100 degrees. Last one's on here. I've got the points and I need to write a triangle. So I'm going to draw a triangle. -10, -24. Just tells me where to go. If I do a squared, b squared, c squared, I get my third side to be 26. My angle always goes up by the origin here, and then I'm just filling in sine, cosine, and tan. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so -24 over 26. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. And when you do the negatives, they cancel out and becomes positive. One more. This one I go +12, -5. Put my angle in there. A squared, b squared, c squared gives me 13. If you look at that, it's going down. That line is down, so it's going to be -13. Then again, filling in sine, cosine, and tangent. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse, 5 over 13. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Tangent is opposite over adjacent.